Welcome back, we are finally back in the studio. Now what we've lost in background quality we have made up for in audio, because I know that for the last couple of episodes the audio quality's not been that good. However, we now have the trusty microphone back, covered in tape, and we should be back to recording with the same quality as normal. But I want to give you guys an update for this month, so coming into August. Admittedly, we are a couple of days into it now, I should say, but I want to give you guys an update as to what I'm expecting and what I want to see in August. Now, when I was in the hotel, I made a couple of videos talking briefly about what I'm doing throughout August, so the first of which was the fact that I sold all of my stocks, so all of my stocks in the stock market are now sold. I'm slowly taking that out of the accounts and putting that into cash in my bank account. And the reason for that is not because I had a terrible experience in the stock market. I think that's what a lot of people got from the last video, which did very well. That's not the case at all. I had a great time in the stock market. I learnt so much. I think a lot of people assume that I went into it uneducated from some of the comments I got in those videos. Now I have to say, guys, I had an entire YouTube channel dedicated to the stock market, covering it, and I was also doing a lot of research before I even thought about putting a penny into the markets. So I didn't blindly jump into them. I had a complete understanding of what I was doing. And I'm not even saying that I did terribly on the stock market. I think I did alright. I think where a lot of people are kind of getting that from is because I said that I'm selling, and it's not because anything's wrong with the stock market. It's not even because I necessarily think it's a bad time to buy. All it is that for me, I understand that where I am, doing stuff through my business is probably going to be more successful than doing stuff through the stock market, because it's common knowledge that when you're buying into the stock market, you're just buying another small piece of somebody else's business, which is fine for the average person. But I personally would rather grow my own business, and having that capital on hand will be more beneficial for me than just investing in the stock market. Because, even on a good stock, you're getting 20-30% returns a year, and that's a very high estimate. Whereas in my own business, I can guarantee for a fact I can get over 100% returns if I invest correctly and run that business in the right way. So that's the first thing that I wanted to give you guys an update on, the fact that I sold my stock into this month, and yeah, I'm going to be sitting on quite a lot of money in cash. The question is, where do I go with that now? And I'm thinking about, like I said before, buying another business. I'm not really sure what sort of business I want to buy. Probably something that I've got a little bit of knowledge in, so potentially something along the lines of e-commerce or something like that. Essentially something online. I don't really want to have much hassle dealing with, say, customers in the real world, because I just think it'd take up too much of my time. Whereas I know for a fact that even an e-commerce shop, I can run that in, say, 1 to 2, maybe 3 hours a day and still make a full-time income. It just makes more sense to A, do something that I'm familiar with, and B, do something that, in my opinion, for my lifestyle, is easier. So if I am going to buy a business, that's what it's going to be. However, I must say I'm not rushing into the concept of buying a business, because let's face it, if you're going to buy a decent cash flowing business, it's going to cost a bit of money. I'm not saying necessarily millions, but it's going to cost a couple of thousand at least. And to just put that money down, I've got to make sure it's a business that I'm comfortable with, a business that I think I can personally grow, and a business that I think will suit my needs for my potential, career and future going forward. So before I even think about putting a penny into it, I'm doing thorough research to make sure that I'm looking at something that I know I can invest in safely. So that's my big plan, not necessarily for this month, but for the next couple of months. I'm not going to give a date as to when I want to actually buy the business, because I think that's just risky. I think saying I want this by that date may just lead me to rushing into things, which is not going to help me in the long term. So I'm going to wait until I've got something that I'm comfortable with, till I've found the right investment opportunity, and then from there I will go into it. But yeah, getting back to the topic, what I'm trying to say is that's my paid opportunity, for the sense that I know that for a couple of £1,000s, I could basically buy a cash flowing business already, which is making profit, or at least making revenue. And it will probably be very easy to grow that if it's a business that I understand and think has potential. So I'm going to use that cash as a reserve for when the opportunity does come up to buy into it immediately. But as you'd expect, buying into a business does come with its own risk. You don't necessarily know if it's going to succeed. So I want to make some more businesses which are going to be free, and these are a few plans that I have for my next month or so. So the first thing is I need to get the watch shop, the official watch shop, because remember, we're not on eBay anymore at all. We have our own shop. I need to get a way to get that to being productive and to being 100% profitable and successful. Now I have to say right now it is profitable, but when we say profitable, we're talking about barely covering the costs. And that's because we've had to move over to a different platform. A lot of the customers don't even know that we're on there yet, so I'm going to be sending out a lot of emails to our eBay customers, and I'm really thankful for eBay for even letting us sell on the platform in the first place, because I could obviously be a bit upset about the fact I got kicked off, but I'm actually going to say no, I'm happy, because now I've got an email list of over 400 clients who have shopped with me before. Some of these people were shopping with me at least once a month. I'm just going to send everybody an email telling them that, hey, I've got a shop now, this is the address to it. I'm going to say I've got a 10 or 15% discount code, and anybody who buys in this period is going to get a discount. And I know for a fact that some of the customers are going to come over. Now, I had a couple of messages from people saying, hey, where's your eBay shop gone? This is on eBay. And I said, well, unfortunately, it's been taken down. And they said, well, do you still sell? And I'm like, yeah, I sell on my website on Shopify. And these people have followed me over. And this is why the shop is basically still profitable. But I need to find a way to expand this and make the shop more and more profitable so that we can get back to that point where we're making over £10,000 a month in revenue, because this will be a lot better for our profit than it was on eBay. So the question is then, how am I going to get to that? Now, the first thing that I'm thinking about is marketing this on TikTok. Obviously, right now I have a TikTok account, like I've said before, and I post, or at least try to post 2 TikToks a day on each of these accounts. Now, these do okay, and they do get the odd 1 or 2 visitors over to the site, but I think I've kind of cracked the code now with what I need to do. I'm going to start making TikTok lives, because even though I am going to be drop shipping quite a few of the products, I can say for a fact that behind the camera lens right now I have at least 20 or 30 different products, and I can showcase these every single night on a TikTok live. And because my profit margins are much higher on the Shopify shop than they are on eBay, I can say, hey, the first couple of people who buy, for every 5 sales we make, for every 10 sales we make, I'm going to give away an item for free. And I really will be able to do that because the profit margins will still work out better than eBay because of how high eBay's fees were. So that's going to be the plan for that one. Market it on TikTok a lot more, and obviously see if we can get TikTok lives going. And I'm also trying to make an ad, but the problem with an ad is you have to invest money into it, so there's always that risk. Because even though it's not going to be breaking the bank, if I have to spend money on the business and there's no guarantee of making it back, that could be a potential loss, which is going to put me in the red for this new website, and that's obviously what we don't want for our business. But right now we are still profitable on the watch shop for now, and I think that is going to grow if we play our cards right into the next month. I've also started up some new business ideas, and I'm trying to expand on some which I kind of had the concepts for last month. So if you remember, I spoke about the Amazon business. I'm starting to scale that up a bit more. I think it is a bit complex. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be, because unlike eBay, Amazon is a lot more difficult. In my opinion, at least, there's a lot more to do, and there's a lot more to manage. However, I am starting to get the hang of it, and I'm trying to upload at least 3 listings to Amazon a day, and I'm going to hopefully start to ramp that up to 4, 5, 6, up to 10, 15 listings a day on Amazon, like I was in the past. But until I know that Amazon is a business model that's a winner for me, I'm not investing too much time into it, or else it could be a waste of time. I've also started up a new blog. You guys can go and subscribe to it if you wish. We already have 8 subscribers on that blog, and it's really simple to run because it is all managed by AI. All I need to do is copy and paste, but basically I say, hey, obviously ChatGPT, write me an essay or a blog post about this, and it within 30 seconds writes out a big blog post about it. I can just upload these over there, and I'm trying to build up my subscribers for this one. This business is not yet profitable. I've had to pay for hosting and that kind of stuff, but it's not yet profitable. However, I think this could be a great tool. A, for building an audience which I can hopefully transfer over to this YouTube channel, and B, for building up an audience that I can A, affiliate market to, and also run ads on, because if I can run ads on the blog as well, that's going to be a profitable business, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be profitable this month. I'm just looking to stay consistent in that one and keep up with that goal. Now, on top of that, there is some sort of regression that I'm thinking about doing with some of my businesses, which may sound a bit silly, but let me explain. So if you guys remember last month, I said, now I've been temporarily suspended on eBay as it was at the time, I want to start to move over to different platforms. So I set up a Depop shop, I set up a Etsy shop, I set up a Shopify shop, which I'm obviously doing now, and an Amazon shop as well. Now the Amazon shop and the Shopify shop, I think, will have results. For a fact, I can say I've sold on Shopify already, so I know it has that potential. The question is though, do we have that potential with Etsy, and do we have that potential with Depop? I'm starting to think the answer really is no. So when we look at our Etsy shop, it's 20p for every single listing, so it costs us money before we even make a penny back. And on top of that, we've not had any sales for the whole month, and we've got like 30 or 40 items listed. Now, you could argue that the listing quality is not good enough, or maybe the items aren't in demand, but for me, that's really not the point. I'm not out here trying to learn like 10 different business models at once. I want to make just a couple of businesses, ideally 4 businesses by the end of 2023 or into the middle of 2024 by the latest, that work. I'm not looking to make 10 businesses that all make £100 a month. I want to have, 4 businesses that I concentrate all my time on, and I want each one of these to be making at least £2,000 a month. That's a plan in the short term. So for that, it's going to take a lot more concentration, but I think realistically we are on that road. With things like this YouTube channel, how quickly it's coming along, this could be a great potential earner. As much as I love creating the videos, let's face it, if we can make money on this channel, why wouldn't we? So that could be a great earner. On top of that, we have the potential for an Amazon or Shopify shop, which also could be unlimited money, as we learnt from our eBay. So really, that's just 2 of the businesses that I have kind of in the works at the moment, but I'm trying to expand, and every new idea that comes to my head, I am going to start implementing. Like I keep saying, I'm trying as many new business ideas this month as I can, and that is always the case, because I really think that's the key to success. I think when you start experimenting with ideas is when you start to see the biggest results. Like, I could sit here and say, well, this probably won't work, this probably won't. No, I want to just try it out, and that's the plan for this month. So hopefully this video wasn't too boring. I know it's been a little bit of a rant style, just me talking about my plans for this month, but I want to keep you guys updated. I know not everyone's going to find a video like this very interesting, but I want to keep it on the channel, A, for my personal interest, so I can look back in a couple of years and say, hey, this is where I was, and B, so that you guys know what I'm doing in my personal journey. Because I make a lot of this sort of generic business advice content, which I do still enjoy filming, but I also want to give you guys an update so that you know that I'm not just saying it, and this is what I'm actually trying to do in my life. So thank you for watching this one. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, and I do hope to see you again in our next one. Thank you so much. See you soon.